For billions of years, the sun's hydrogen fuel has generated clean power for Earth in the form of sunlight. Soon, hydrogen will be supplying many of our needs for electricity, transportation, and industrial power.
To me, it makes sense for us to choose hydrogen and fuel cells to do that. You get water vapor coming out of the tailpipe, you have twice the efficiency of power to the wheel of the vehicle, plus hydrogen is everywhere.
Hydrogen is denoted by the letter H in chemical formulas. For use as a fuel in its most stable form, hydrogen consists of two atoms and is commonly known as H2. Hydrogen is abundant on the Earth, but it is almost always combined with other elements, usually with carbon or oxygen. Fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas contain atoms of hydrogen combined with atoms of carbon. Plants contain these atoms as well. These materials that contain hydrogen and carbon are called hydrocarbons and represent a source of hydrogen. Water, another important source of hydrogen, is composed of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. It is represented by H2O. A sustainable hydrogen economy depends on several factors. 1. Low-cost dependable methods for making hydrogen and improved methods for storing and transporting hydrogen. 2. Cost-effective technologies that utilize hydrogen for producing electricity in industry and as a fuel for transportation. 3. Public acceptance and support for the use of hydrogen. It took time to make the change from horses to automobiles, and it will take time to reduce our dependence on foreign oil and move to hydrogen from a wide variety of sources. And North Dakota is helping to lead the way.
Not only our nation, but the entire world is going to continue to need more energy, and we want that to be dependable. We want it to be as inexpensive as possible, and hydrogen is already starting to be and is going to continue to be one of those sources of energy that we use to meet our needs.
To access this energy resource, we need to release the hydrogen contained in biomass, fossil fuels, and water. The National Center for Hydrogen Technology is continuing a tradition of more than 50 years of hydrogen research at the Energy and Environmental Research Center at the University of North Dakota. Researchers at EERC's NCHT are evaluating a number of technologies that have the promise to convert the hydrocarbons in plants and fossil fuels into usable hydrogen fuel.
We are bringing a great deal of expertise and wisdom, in a sense, and also something that's phenomenally important. We work constantly with corporate partners who bring a very real-world, market-driven aspect to everything we do. So I think we're playing a fundamental cornerstone role in the future of hydrogen development in this country.
Currently, we can produce hydrogen from hydrocarbons like biomass and fossil fuels in several ways. Hydrogen is released when the hydrocarbons are partially burned in a process called gasification. This process is currently used at the Great Plains Synfuels facility near Beulah, North Dakota, to make synthetic natural gas from lignite coal. Gasification is also the process that will be used in FutureGen, the U.S. Department of Energy's concept for emission-free coal-fired electrical generation. FutureGen will make hydrogen from coal. This hydrogen will fuel turbines that generate electricity and provide fuel for vehicles. Emissions will be captured and injected underground to help boost oil production. Electricity can be used to weaken the chemical bonds between oxygen and hydrogen in water to release the hydrogen gas. This process, called electrolysis, makes high-purity hydrogen. Renewable energy from wind in North Dakota is one of the possible sources of electricity for this process. Basin Electric Power Cooperative is working with the EERC and other partners to demonstrate the use of renewable wind resources to make hydrogen from water by electrolysis.
The role of hydrogen will play a major part in the long-term future of energy in this country. And I say that because today there's a stronger and stronger emphasis put on decreasing our energy dependency upon foreign sources of fuel.
Improved methods of transporting and storing hydrogen are needed. Even at high pressures, hydrogen takes up a large space. Several solutions are being developed to ensure adequate hydrogen is available. These include high-pressure storage methods, storing hydrogen bound by other compounds and releasing as needed, making hydrogen as needed on demand from more easily stored feedstocks, using natural gas and liquid fuels as hydrogen carriers. For the hydrogen economy to become a reality, we will need many fuel dispensing stations across the country, much like current gasoline stations. The continuing research at the EERC will help make this happen. For the hydrogen economy to become reality, millions of vehicles in the U.S. will have to switch to this clean fuel. That change is starting today. With some simple changes to the engine control system and a certified hydrogen fuel tank, today's internal combustion engine vehicles can be modified to use hydrogen instead of gasoline. Fuel cells directly convert hydrogen to electricity by chemical reactions. Because the fuel is not burned, no harmful emissions are produced. Fuel cells are currently being tested in a variety of vehicles around the world. As an example of this, the EERC, E-Power Synergies Incorporated, and Resurface were instrumental in developing the first commercially available fuel cell ice refinisher.
We really need to pole vault to a new point here, and that point should be the production, storage, and transportation capabilities for hydrogen and fuel cells so that we can use them routinely and develop the infrastructure to use them in our country's vehicle fleet.
Even if hydrogen is available and hydrogen fuel technologies are on the market, consumers will still need to make the choice. To learn more about hydrogen and the National Center for Hydrogen Technology's full range of hydrogen programs and outreach activities, visit the EERC website at www.undeerc.org.
Funding provided by the U.S. Department of Energy, the North Dakota Division of Community Services, and the members of Prairie Public.
We need to move towards a more secure energy future. The road to energy independence runs right through Grand Forks, North Dakota. Runs right up to the front door of the EERC.
Through the National Center for Hydrogen Technology, or NCHT, the Energy and Environmental Research Center at the University of North Dakota is developing practical systems that can produce energy from hydrogen. To accomplish this, the NCHT is researching systems that can ensure a hydrogen supply from fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas, and biomass.
Not only do we add great value to the intellectual capability and commercial opportunities for new technology in this country and indeed the world, but we also bring a lot of new high-quality jobs to this region.
Hydrogen is plentiful on Earth, but it occurs in combination with other elements. For example, hydrogen occurs with carbon in plants and fossil fuels. These materials that contain carbon and hydrogen atoms are called hydrocarbons. Water also contains hydrogen atoms. Coal is a fossil fuel that can be used to produce large volumes of hydrogen. The western coals, including the rich lignite resources in Texas and in the northern Great Plains, are especially good sources of hydrogen. Gasification is the process currently used to convert lignite coal to a hydrogen-rich gas at the Great Plains Synfuels plant in western North Dakota. The National Center for Hydrogen Technology is working with a number of industrial partners to pioneer the analytical and modeling techniques needed to develop future power plant systems that will use hydrogen from coal.
The NCHT focuses on the development of technologies and innovations to improve the overall systems and make new technologies so that we can get a hydrogen economy that takes advantage of the environmental benefits as well as drives down costs, so it's more cost effective.
The NCHT is using its expertise in hydrogen systems to team with Air Products, a world leader in hydrogen supply, to develop an improved system for producing hydrogen from coal. This partnership will develop technology to produce a high-purity stream of coal-based hydrogen gas that can be readily used in turbines, engines, and fuel cells.
Air Products is working with EERC in North Dakota to look at potentially groundbreaking ways to harness the hydrogen that's embedded in coal and turn that into hydrogen that can be used, as I said, for purposes of powering vehicles or stationary sources.
The NCHT is also involved in enhancing engines, turbines, and fuel cells to use hydrogen efficiently. Natural gas turbines are currently being used to generate electricity. The National Center for Hydrogen Technology is teaming with Siemens Power Generation to help develop the next generation of turbines that will use hydrogen fuel and catalytic combustion systems to reduce emissions. The NCHT is developing and testing the effectiveness of these catalytic systems. Hydrogen-fueled turbines are operated at higher temperatures to make them more efficient. The EERC is working with Siemens Power Generation to develop high-temperature materials that can be used to make key components for industrial turbines, allowing them to operate on hydrogen fuel. To work well, fuel cells need a high-quality source of hydrogen. The National Center for Hydrogen Technology is meeting this need by determining specifications for the purity of hydrogen made from coal for use in solid oxide fuel cells. Different types of fuel cells have tolerances for different impurities in the fuel, and the solid oxide fuel cell is most efficient with very low levels of sulfur in the fuel. The Energy and Environmental Research Center is testing hydrogen use in specialty fuel cell vehicles like forklifts and neighborhood electric vehicles, and with piston engine on-road vehicles designed to utilize hydrogen as well as conventional liquid fuels. The NCHT worked with key commercial partners, including ePower Synergies Incorporated and Resurfice, to develop the first commercially available fuel cell-powered ice resurfacer. The hydrogen fuel cell eliminates the harmful exhaust gases left by ice resurfacers that use conventional fossil-fueled internal combustion engines. The ePower Ice Bear is on the market today and available for use on ice rinks worldwide. The National Center for Hydrogen Technology has partnered with the U.S. Army Engineer Research Development Center, ePower Synergies, and the U.S. Air Force to develop a dependable system that makes hydrogen on demand for hydrogen fuel cell-powered vehicles. The system and the fuel cell vehicle are currently being evaluated by the North Dakota Army National Guard and Grand Forks Air Force Base. By working with government and industry partners today, the National Center for Hydrogen Technology is helping to build the sustainable hydrogen economy of the future.
Given the situation we have in this country with respect to energy insecurity and energy dependence, we need to focus a great deal of effort, and the ERC is taking the lead in doing that, in developing new and better technologies to extract it and utilize it in fuel cell applications and even in internal combustion engine applications.
To learn more about hydrogen and the National Center for Hydrogen Technology's full range of hydrogen programs and outreach activities, visit the EERC website at www.undeerc.org.
Funding provided by the U.S. Department of Energy, the North Dakota Division of Community Services, and the members of Prairie Public.
If a future president were able to wake up and know that he didn't have to count on the unstable Middle East, but instead would be able to count on the heartland of America, right here in the Midwest, for the energy resources necessary to secure our future. That can happen.
Our agricultural commodities and byproducts represent an abundant renewable source of hydrogen. Our wind resources represent a renewable source of energy that can be used to generate hydrogen from water. Groups like the Center for Renewable Energy at the University of North Dakota's Energy and Environmental Research Center and Basin Electric Power Cooperative have partnered to develop and demonstrate practical systems that use our region's renewable resources to generate hydrogen.
We have exciting opportunity with renewable sources of energy. Hydrogen is one great example. There are others like biofuels and wind, and we're going to continue to develop these renewable fuels, but we're going to develop them in partnership with traditional sources in a way that we can achieve energy independence.
Our region is home to a growing number of ethanol facilities. The EERC is applying its expertise in hydrogen to agricultural processing by working with the regional corn growers, Chippewa Valley Ethanol Company, and H2Gen to add hydrogen to the list of products that can be made from corn-based commodities developed at these regional ethanol facilities. The EERC's experience with gasification also provides the basis for the portable biomass gasification power plant. This trailer-mounted technology is designed to convert a variety of plant materials like wood waste, sunflower hulls, corn stalks, and switchgrass to hydrogen-rich gas. This gas is then fed into conventional equipment, including turbines, internal combustion engines, and boilers, in place of conventional liquid fuels. As a mobile unit, the biomass gasification plant is tailored to meet the need for remote applications where conventional fuel is unavailable or too expensive to transport.
We need to look at indigenous resources, if you will, and hydrogen is a marvelous opportunity that can be made from so many different things that exist on our continent. And so I have the sense that, and we believe very firmly, that it is a key part of the mix, and there will always be a mix. There isn't one silver bullet, if you will. And there's going to be ever-increasing support and opportunities, and the price of oil right now is driving that point home.
The NCHT is testing the conversion process of biomass to hydrogen-rich methanol from plant material. The methanol is then converted to hydrogen fuel for vehicles, small-scale industrial turbines, or fuel cells. The U.S. Department of Energy, in partnership with Basin Electric Cooperative, the EERC, and others, is demonstrating the production of hydrogen from water using renewable wind energy.
The national significance of this project goes back to decreasing our dependency upon foreign sources of oil. If we really are trying to get serious about that very issue, here in this country, we've got to be looking again at these alternative sources of energy. And this hydrogen project will help us to understand that.
This demonstration is occurring near Minot, North Dakota, where prairie wind is converted into hydrogen gas in a four-step process. First, state-of-the-art wind turbines change wind to electricity. Second, the electricity is used to split H2O to H and O in an electrolyzer, developed and provided by Hydrogenics Corporation. Next, the hydrogen is pressurized and stored. Finally, the hydrogen will be used to fuel vehicles powered by modified internal combustion engines.
And in the end, what you're accomplishing there is you're getting, as a fuel source, you're getting hydrogen, which you can then store and use as needed and not depend on when the wind, in the case of the wind to hydrogen, or the solar energy is available.
To learn more about hydrogen and the National Center for Hydrogen Technology's full range of hydrogen programs and outreach activities, visit the EERC website at www.undeerc.org.
It is the way we view what we're doing that's so important. We could, God forbid, tomorrow morning wake up and discover that terrorists have severed the pipeline of oil to our country, and we could see our economy in desperate, desperate trouble. We need to move towards a more secure energy future. This is about building a future.
Funding provided by the U.S. Department of Energy, the North Dakota Division of Community Services, and the members of Prairie Public.